Hello and welcome to another Stamp with Amy K Facebook Live, and today I'm going to show you how I made a fun little card with the Snowman Magic stamp set bundle. And this card, I got it all done and ready to go, and I thought, oh, that's kind of cute. And then I looked at it and went, this card would have been perfect for a shaker card, and why didn't you make it as a shaker card, Amy? So I originally made it as, like I said, just a not shaker card, but I thought I would show you today how to make it as a shaker card. So I'm going to give it a whirl on the fly live. I haven't actually made it, but it's a pretty basic and pretty easy thing to make a shaker card. So hopefully it'll be pretty simple and I won't mess anything up. I make no guarantees, but hopefully I won't. And like I said, I thought it might be kind of fun to change it up a little bit and see what we come up with. So this is the card we're going to be making today. Like I said, I'm just going to turn it into a little shaker card to make it look like snow over the top of it, the little background. So that's all. Hey Bree, thanks for joining today. I appreciate you being here. So that's the card. This is the stamp set. It is again called Snowman Magic, and it's really cute, and it's got coordinating dies, and it's got all the little pieces that you'll want to stamp a snowman scene. He's got little sunglasses on here. There are a couple different snowman faces. There's some little buttons and things you can put down the front of the snowman, birds, arms, all sorts of cute stuff, good sentiments that go with it. Hey Karen and Pam, thanks for joining. And then you know that I can't not get something that has dies, because I apparently just have a thing with dies, but it has a coordinating die set with it. So these are the Snowman dies, and again they cut out all the little stamped images. Well, the trees I guess they don't cut out, but there are some tree dies here. And then there's this cool sort of framed die, and that's the one we're going to use to cut out the background on here. So that's it. Like I said, it's a really cute die set, really cute stamp set, and if you don't have it, you just need to get it. And trust me, because I don't want you to be sad that you didn't get it. So, all right. Hey, Barbara, thanks for joining. So I'm going to set these things aside here. And a couple other things that, or one other thing that I used on this, I did use the basic borders dies. I always get the words wrong. And I use this kind of rounded one here, and I just use that to cut my little snow image here in the background. You don't need to do it with a die, but I just thought it added a nice look with a little rounded and a little bit of stitching, kind of finish it off. Hey Debbie, thanks for joining. Hey Jackie, glad you're here as well. All right. There are kind of a lot of updates I want to run through, so I'll try to make it speedy quick. Celebration is going on now through the end of August. If you have not ordered yet, get your orders in. There are even some new Celebration items to pick from beyond what's in the Celebration brochure. So the kind of greenish dot, the gold dot are the $50 level items, so you can get these free with a $50 order. The green dots are free with a $100 order. So there are some great new items, again, as well as what is available currently in the Celebration brochure. A couple of the items have sold out. So get your orders put in before the end of August. There's also a joining promotion going on as well, where you can get a really pretty whole planner collection from Stampin' Up! If you join as a demonstrator. So if you're not a demonstrator, you should join, because we have these coming in September. So September 1st to the 30th. Stampin' Up! Has got some new dies coming with some that coordinate with some current stamp sets. Demonstrators can pre-order these right now. Hey, Catherine and Michelle, glad you're here as well. So demonstrators can pre-order these right now. And as an added bonus, you can get them as part of your starter kit. So yay, you can get some new dies, you can get the planner, you can join, you can get just the discount. There's no requirement to purchase anything on any of that stuff. So just hop in, get the discount for yourself. No requirement to sell to anybody. Let me know if you have questions. We'd love to have you come join our team. So these are the new die sets. Again, like I said, the stamp sets are from the 2 current catalogs, but they're bringing dies that coordinate with them. So if you already have the stamp sets, you can just get the dies. They also are giving you bundled pricing on them for the month of September. Or again, if you're a demonstrator, you can get them for the bundled pricing right now. But you can get these while supplies last during the month of September for bundled pricing. So they are great deals. Hey, Margot, glad you're joining from California. So details for this I'll be posting with my blog post tomorrow, and I think I might have put it on my blog today. I can't remember honestly. So but details will be out there for sure tomorrow. when I post the details for this card, and I will link up the blog post in the description of this video, so you'll be able to take a peek then. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about before I get going on the card is there's like a double World Card Making Day thing going on. If you have been around and have seen our team event in the past, we have done for the past several years an all-day long card making event on Facebook. It's just basically we're doing Facebook Lives about every hour from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. So lots of fun. We do some little giveaways. It's a separate Facebook group. You'll be seeing a lot more details as it gets closer. We're like 6 weeks out yet. So, but you'll be seeing a lot more details about this as it gets closer. And in addition to that, this year, Stampin' Up! Is also doing a World Card Making Day event as well. So we're kind of incorporating ours in with theirs. So their event just goes, it's from 2 to 5 Mountain Time, which would be, oh gosh, my 4 to 7 Eastern Time, I think is what it ends up being. I don't know. My converting on that, I always get it backwards. So they're doing an event, and they're going to be showing you how to make 3 cards, and they have some special bundles. These 2 bundles, the Cottage Wreath and the Cottage Rose bundles, are currently available now. If you order the bundle anytime between now and October 1st, you're going to get some free iridescent pearl basic jewels. So if you order either of those bundles or both of those bundles, you'll get free pearls. And there is a new bundle that will be available starting on September 1st. This is from the upcoming January to June 2023 catalog, which I can hardly even believe that I'm saying that, but this is a new bundle from that catalog called Warm Welcome, and that one will be available to purchase for customers and demonstrators starting on September 1st, and you will also get the free pack of pearls if you purchase that bundle too. So the Stampin' Up! Is saying 1 free pack of pearls per order. So however that works out in your head as far as ordering goes. Definitely, if you don't have these 2 bundles, get on ordering them now so that you're ready. And they also give you some additional things. Again, all this will be linked up out on my blog, and it's actually on my blog right now. So all this will be out there tomorrow as well, so you'll be able to see all the details, find out the information, and put a note on your calendar to make sure that you're around on Saturday, October 1st. And just so you know, our event as well as Stampin' Up's event will be recorded, and so if you are busy that day and aren't able to watch it live, you can always go and watch the replays. So I think I've yacked on long enough about all of that. So let me know if you have any questions. Like I said, the details, I just posted the World Card Making Day details on my blog, which is stampwithamyk.com. So after the video, you can go over and check it out. And again, I'll link up tomorrow to make sure that you've got the details there as well. Okay, so let's finally get going on the card. This is a piece of basic white cardstock, and it's cut to about 3.5 wide by about 4 7/8 tall, which is kind of an odd measurement, but it fit the best around this little die. Again, these are the Snowman Dies, and they are coordinate with the Snowman Magic stamp set. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to run it through my die cutting machine, and basically I'm just trying to center it top to bottom, side to side, so that I get a nice frame when I get done with it. So I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine, and when I run it through, I'm going to remember to run it through at just a slight angle, so that when it comes to the roller on my die, it doesn't smack into the solid edge here. It rolls through much smoother if you turn it at just a little bit of an angle, so that one of the points goes through first. And it doesn't even have to be much of an angle, just so long as it's not hitting that solid edge, it'll roll through a lot faster. So let me go do that. So I'll be off screen for 1 second, and I will try not to bash into the table again like I just did with my knee. So hang on. All right, so let me get this crank through. Trying to make sure I'm getting it on here straight, which is the hardest part for me. All right, then that leaves us with a nice big piece in the center, as well as the frame here. And I got to scrape all the stuff off my cutting plate, because my cutting plates are a mess. So scraping all the die cuts off there, so we're ready to do the next round of die cutting, and flinging them all over my floor as I'm doing it. Okay, so let's put this die away here. So we got this piece that we're going to be doing some stamping on, as well as this piece. So this is what the die cut frame looks like, and it's really pretty. So we are going to take this is going to be eventually my card front, and I know that I want my framing to kind of land centered on the card front. And because there are the little snowflakes here along the edge, and my snowman's going to fit in here as well, I actually wanted to set this up on the Stamparatus, and I'll show you how I did it initially, and hopefully I don't mess it up as I'm doing it the second time here. So I'm going to put this into my Stamparatus. Let me scooch this down just a little bit so hopefully you can see what I'm doing here on the screen. This is a piece of Celebrate Everything Designer Series paper, and it's cut to about 4.5 by, or 4 1/4, I'm sorry, by 5.5. Measurements will be on my blog tomorrow because I always say I'm wrong. I'm going to grab this. It's the most magical time of the year sentiment from my Snowman Magic stamp set. And then I'm going to take this little frame that I've got set here, and I'm going to roughly place it where I want it to land on my card front. And then I'm going to place my stamp kind of right in and around that. When I was putting this together originally, I realized that it wasn't going to be quite centered. And so I wanted to make sure that I was stamping it in the right place. So this is the best way that I could come up with to do it, was to, again, just put it on here and make sure that I don't have it. I'm going to scooch it over to the left just a hair, I think. And I use hopefully have it lined up fairly straight, because I use the lines in the paper to kind of help me judge what straight would be. And then put my framing around it to make sure that it was going to be where I wanted it to be. And hopefully I haven't moved it again. And that's generally where I want it. So then I'm going to use my Stamparatus, the little plate here, to pick up the stamped image, and we are going to stamp it from there so that I know that I'm getting it in the right place. And I'm also going to grab my embossing buddy. I had a moment of, what in the world is this thing called? And I'm just going to rub it over my Designer Series paper in hopes that I don't have any fingerprints on it and don't have any static on it before we get going, because this is kind of this is the final of the card front, so I want to make sure that I don't have any goofs on it, because I'm not going to be die cutting it. So then I'm going to grab my Versamark ink, and we're going to ink up the image. Close up my Versamark ink before I end up with heat powder all over it, the embossing powder all over it. Make sure I've got this slid up into the corner, and then we're just going to stamp it down here, give it a good press, and hopefully we got a good image on it. I'm going to set my Stamparatus aside. That's all that I really need that for. I just wanted to make sure that I had it in the right spot and didn't have to mess around with it, stamping it and hoping I got it in the right place. All right, I've got some gold embossing powder from the Metallics Embossing Powders. I'm sprinkling that over the top of my stamped image. And then I'm going to grab my heat tool, although I am going to close up my embossing powder first, because usually if I turn the heat tool on and I don't have that closed, it shoots everywhere. All right, let me grab the heat tool. The Stampin' Up! Heat tool has got 2 settings on it. There's a level 1 setting for drying. So if you're doing something like watercoloring and you want to dry your project a little bit faster, you can use the level 1 setting. The level 2 setting is for heat embossing, and that is what I've got it set to right now. So I'm just giving it a second to get good and hot to make sure that we're ready to do the heat embossing when I turn it towards the project. So let me see if we're ready. Hopefully we are here. And I'm just going to kind of aim it at the project. And there we go. It's starting to turn as it gets smooth and shiny. You want to just keep your heat tool moving so that you don't burn your embossing powder, because you can certainly do that, and I've done it before. All right. There we go, and give it just a second to cool off. Yeah, actually I do stamp a fair amount actually directly on Designer Series papers. It depends on the paper, because some of them they've got a lot of pattern and it doesn't work very well, but this one's a little more neutral, so I thought it worked all right. All right, so I've got this set and ready to go, so I'm going to set that aside. And now I'm going to grab my frame. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this die cutting first. I have got my little piece of glimmer paper. This is from the Real Red and White glimmer paper. It's cut to just short of 3.5 inches, because this frame is 3.5 inches, and I wanted to make sure that it would fit inside it, but not be, sticking out a naked edge on the side. So it's not quite 3 3/8. It's probably between, whatever the measurement is, between 3.5 and 3 3/8, and it's about 1 inch tall. And I'm going to take my borders, my basic borders, the kind of rounded die from that. And I take that and I'm just going to put it in the die cutting machine. We're just going to run it through and do a little quick cut to give it a little bit of a finished edge on my little snow hill here for my little snowman. So, all right, get that done. The dog is anxiously pacing around in here. I'm not sure. She's seeing something outside. I think she wants to go chase, but too bad. She'll have to wait till I'm done. All right, let me put that die back and grab my little die cut piece here. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to stick it in here on the inside of my frame. I'm going to use a little, hopefully, tiny bit of multi-purpose liquid glue. Or you can use Stampin' Seal, which is really what I prefer to use because I usually make a big mess with liquid glue. Hopefully I won't. That's all I'll say. Hopefully I won't. All right, so this is my glimmer paper that I've got the shiny side, sparkly side to the front. And I'm just going to line it up in here and then smoosh it down to the back of the frame. And I don't think, looks like I didn't get it oozing out everywhere, so I'm happy about that because that's what I usually do is just make a big mess and then have glue everywhere. All right, so on my original card, as I said, I did not make this one a shaker card when I started. Add in the bundle to your next order. Yes, you do need that. Daryl, see, this is why you should just buy it all and then you're never sad. So, all right. So I've got my frame done here. On my original card, I did not do it as a shaker card, so I do not have the window sheet in there, but we're going to add one today as I'm making this. And I think I'm actually going to use tear and tape. Hopefully I don't regret that. To adhere or should I use you know what? I think I can just use my foam adhesive strips and then I don't have to mess around with tear and tape. All right, so I cut my window sheet. Again, the window sheet's about 3 3/4 wide because I wanted it to be a little narrower, and I cut it to 4 1/4 because I knew it didn't need to go all the way down to the bottom since I had my little snow hill in here. So I'm going to take my foam adhesive strips, place this thing in the center. Hey, Critters and Ink, thanks for hopping in from Ontario. So I've got, this is kind of a partial piece of one of the foam adhesive strips. And I'm going to hopefully turn it here and just going to try to catch the edge of my adhesive sheet, or my window sheet, not adhesive sheet, and the edge of the frame, and hope that I didn't go way over. There we go, that's a little straighter. And I'm going to trim this off down here. All right, and then grab another piece of the adhesive strip. I'm going to take that and we're going to just tuck it here in the corner, go over to the other corner and snip it off as well. And then going to take this piece and we will run it right along the other edge. And again, I'm using it to stick the window sheet to the frame, hopefully, if I didn't just mess it up like I did there. I want to make sure that I get it on the cardstock as well as on the window sheet. I guess I should have used the tear and tape. And this is what happens when I don't practice. I thought, I can just wing it and make this. It won't be any problem. All right, last little piece here, just got to stick the top together. Again, just making sure that I'm catching both the window sheet and the cardstock on the background. And I'm going to take a little snip off of the next one here. I think we'll just take a piece about that big, peel this off and drop it right in the center of the window sheet. And there we go. We'll just tuck this in here. All right, so we've got our frame basically ready to go here. So we've got the glitters on the outside as well as the framing, and then I've got my window sheet tucked in underneath that. I'm going to smoosh this down to make sure that I got everything set in here. The other thing that I'm going to do, which I just realized, I should put a little bit of the foam adhesive strip right in here to keep the sequins up. Because you can have them go all the way down to the bottom, but you may have, they'll kind of pile up down the bottom, and then whoever your recipient is may not necessarily see it there, and you don't want them to be sad because they can't see the, the pretty little sequins that you've got in there. So I'm going to grab another little piece of the foam adhesive strips And if I need extra little pieces, I've got some laying around here. And I'm going to kind of tuck it up here. Hopefully I'm on the screen here. So you can see the back of my glitter paper is there. And I'm just going to make sure that it's just under that edge. And then again, come over here and snip off this little bit of extra. It doesn't need to be super, super tight because the sequins aren't going to be able to get through that tiny little space. But you don't want to have a big gap there or all your sequins will fall down in there. And then again, you'll be sad. All right. So I think we've got our frame ready to go. Next thing I want to do is, before I stick this all down, is I'm going to put my little snowman inside here first. So I'm going to stamp the snow person, snowman, snow woman, whatever you want to make it. And I'm just using the centerpiece that I cut out, so I'm hopefully not wasting too much paper. And there is the snowman. And I've got Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and I'm going to start with the snowman body. Just going to ink it up, and I think we'll tuck that right in here. Stamp that. All right, and then I'm going to grab my snowman nose and face. And I use the one that's got the eyes that look like they were closed on it, but you can use the eyes open if you prefer, so you get to pick whatever snowman face you want. And just try to get it so that it's fairly centered on his little head. We need to stamp the rabbit. Again, Tuxedo Black Memento ink. Tucking that in around there. And then I need to stamp the scarf and hat. And I used Sweet Sorbet ink to do that. And then we've got some little snowman arms, and they're really cute. And the next trick is going to be cutting all of this out, and it may take me a moment, so hopefully y'all will bear with me as I do this. Hopefully I can get them all done in one pass through the die cutting machine, but sometimes I have to do it twice. So you've never done a shaker card? It is really, really easy. Definitely grab some of the foam adhesive strips and have fun. That's all I can say. They're really easy to put together. All right, last piece, I've got soft suede, and I've got the two little snowman arms. And we're just going to stamp one of each arm. There we go. Now I am going to, two things I have to color first before I die cut these, is I grabbed pale papaya. You can use Calypso Coral or Pumpkin Pie, whatever your favorite of the orangey colors is. And I'm going to color in the snowman nose with the dark pale papaya. And after I got it all colored in, I think there is actually a stamp in the set that fills in the nose, but sometimes I don't get very accurate with those little tiny stamps like that. And it's easier sometimes just to color it. And then I use the light pale papaya to put a little bit of color in the bunny ear. All right, next up I'm going to grab my dies, and I've got my snowman die. There's the little hat die. Oop, and I'm off the top of the screen. The die for the scarf. We've got the little bunny die. And there are two sets of arm dies. So this one, the skinnier of the arm dies, actually you can cut just from regular paper, whatever you want to do. So if I wanted just soft suede paper, I could do that. Or you can do what I've done and stamp them and then die cut with the little coordinating, there's the other one, dies. And these are, as she says before she runs it through the die cutting machine, are fairly easy to line up. Because, of course, I think I'm going to have to run this through 2 separate times because you can see kind of the fingertips. Hopefully you can see that, as well as there we go, as well as the arms. So when you go to die cut these, hopefully you can see that in there, you can see the stamped image through the little die here. So hopefully you can get everything lined up pretty easily, and hopefully I'll be able to get it lined up as well. So I'm going to take this over to my die cutting machine. So I'm going to be off screen for a second because I got a little die cutting to do. Like I said, I think I'm going to have to run it through twice because I stamped my arms too close together. All right. So we've got the snowman and the little hat and the bunny. I think I can get one of the arms done. And hopefully I'll get it all done right and straight. And then the scarf. Let me run this set through. And, all right, there's a little snowman. I'm putting the dies back on my magnetic sheet before I lose track of all of those. We've got our snowman hat, our snowman scarf, our bunny. The scarf is right over the snowman's face. One of the arms, and then let me put these dies away and grab the final arm and run that one through the die cutting machine. All right, ooh, here we go. And then I think this is it for the die cutting, so hopefully you won't have to watch a whole lot of nothingness for as I do this. The rest of the card. All right, there we go. Got our final arm, and let me put this on the little magnetic sheet before I lose track of that. Okay, so our snowman, I'm going to bring my card front over here, and again, I generally want to know where I'm going to place my snowman. So I'm going to take my frame off and layer it back on, and generally that's where I want my snowman to land. So I'm going to, but actually no, I need to put the arms on first. So the little arms have a circle under them. Hopefully you can see that. And you didn't get the set. Yeah, just get it, Carol. Like I said, you don't want to be sad. Hey, Amy, thanks for hopping in. It's definitely a must buy as far as I'm concerned. Going to grab a little bit of liquid glue, and I'm going to take one arm and stick it under my snowman and hold it for just a second. While I do that, I'm going to put the little dot of liquid glue on the other arm. So that one's ready to go. And pick it up, slide the other little arm underneath the snowman and give it a second to hold. All right, I think I've got them both stuck on. Then I'm going to grab my little snowman scarf, and again, I'm using liquid glue, which is not my favorite. I'm trying not to put too much on. Oh, wow, that was kind of an impressive little flip. I don't know if I'd be able to do that again a second time. So I'm going to put my snowman here, his scarf on, and hopefully get it centered. There we go. And I did get a little glue on my snowman hand, but that's all right, it'll dry eventually. And then I'm going to add just a little tiny bit of glue just to the rim of the hat. The bottom of the hat, not the rim. Is that the rim? Whatever it is. So, all right, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on there, and then I'm going to put it right up here on the top of the snowman's head. All right, so giving it a second. Shaker cards are definitely fun to receive. So, and they're fun to make too, really, I think. All right, so I'm going to put my snowman back on here. Going to grab my shaker here, make sure that I'm getting it pretty well placed where I want it to be. So I know that I want the bottom of the snowman to be lined up approximately a little bit above. I could even line it up with this line in the scallop. So I'm going to flip that over, put a little bit of liquid glue on the back of my snowman. Try not to go too crazy along the edges anyway. Just a little touches here and there. There we go. And hopefully flip it over without flipping everything into the glue again. And put him back here. And again, I know that I want him to be kind of up close to my sentiment. So before it's stuck down forever, I want to make sure that I put this on here. And again, he's still in the spot where I want, or she's still in the spot where I want her to be, whatever it is. And then gonna press that down. All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. So I'm going to scooch my bunny over just a little bit, and then we're going to take this and we're going to adhere it to a pool party card base. Card base is cut to 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. This card will also work on your standard book fold card front. So the 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 scored at 4 1/4. So you can do it on whatever your preferred card base is. I like the top fold ones, but I know not everybody does. So hey, Carol, no worries. Glad you're joining. So we're just getting to the fun part, getting ready to put the shakers together. So, all right. So I'm going to adhere this to the card front, maybe. Make sure I've got everything on here straight before it's stuck down for good. And again, just using liquid glue and holding it for just a second to make sure we're down. Next thing I want to do, which I almost forgot, is to grab a little pinch of the Sparkle and Shine sequin assortment. So these are little, I don't know, they looked like snow to me. So they are white and silver and sparkly and pretty and all that in there. And I'm just going to grab a couple pinches of those, and I'm going to put them right here in the center of the card. Now, if you're better at lining things up than I am, some people can actually put them inside here and do all sorts of craziness and acrobatics and get things to stick, but I find it easier to just pile it up in the middle of the card. And I don't know, again, because I didn't make this ahead of time, I probably should have done a sample one. And they're sticking to my fingers and not, crazy things. Probably should have done a sample one to do an estimate. I did about 4 little pinches of these. We'll see when we get done. We may decide it needs more, may decide it needs less, so we can make the judgment from there after I get done with it. So it is really easy, so definitely give it a try. I can't believe you guys haven't tried these before. They're super simple. The big key is just making sure that you buy the foam adhesive strips, because that makes them super, super easy. All right, now I need to peel the backings off of the foam adhesive strips that I've got on here. And again, making sure that my pile of sequins is towards the center. The first time I tried to make a shaker card, I actually made the mistake and put the shakers in here, the sequins inside here, and then pulled the backings off and then went, oh, now how do I get this on the card front without dumping the sequins everywhere? So then that's when I did the acrobatics. And that's when I learned if you put them on the card front, it makes it much easier. So, all right, so I'm standing up and standing over this in hopes that I will get it on here straight and centered. Hopefully I did it. And then we're going to smoosh it down, and I'm going to give it a press kind of all around the edges just to make sure it's sealed. And then we've got our little shakers. So now we got the shaker card front. So there's little sequins in there. They'll float around. They'll stick on the snowman and everywhere else. And anyhow, so there you go. That's all there is to a shaker card. Super, super easy. So give it a try if you haven't tried it before. You definitely need to. It's, like I said, they're really fun, really easy. Go do it. All right. So that's it for the card front. On the inside of the card, I kept it pretty simple as well and just did a little sentiment. Again, this is from the same stamp set, the Snowman Magic stamp set, and I've got Pool Party ink, basic white. Oh, I forgot my bunny. Good heavens. Hold on. We'll stick the bunny on. The card front's not quite done. This just says, thinking of you this season. I want to make sure I've got it good and inky here. Hopefully I'm getting it in here straight. And my Pool Party ink pad, I think, needs to be re-inked. That's pretty light. Hopefully you can still read it. And then I'm going to stamp my little snowman images, if I can find my ink pad. Here's Tuxedo Black. So I'm going to take my snowman. And, only got half of them inked. We'll tuck the snowman right down in here. And we'll put the hat and the scarf and the face. Whoops, I got to put the face on first. Got my little snowman face. Stamping that in there. And then the hat, when you don't die cut, it does fit it reasonably well. There's kind of a flat spot on his head. Definitely give it a try. They're so easy and so much fun to do, and people like them, and I don't know. So got my little snowman hat. He's got kind of a flat spot on his head, which I don't know, flat heads usually aren't a good thing, but it works for the snowman hat. And then I'm going to ink up the little scarf. Again, this is Sweet Sorbet ink, and I just totally stuck this block right into the edge of the ink pad, so hopefully I won't. There we go. Got that. And then I'm going to grab my little arms and soft suede ink again. And hopefully I have these stuck on the block in a way that I can actually see where I'm stamping them. We're going to stamp one up over here, flip the other one over, stamp the other little arm up over there, and then color the nose, and we'll be done with the inside of the card. And then I'll stick my little bunny on the outside of the card, because I'm just glad that I saw him sitting over there. All right, and I used, again, dark pale papaya for the nose. And if you have a different orange and prefer that, you can definitely use whatever orange you want to. I don't know. Pale papaya is probably one of my favorite kind of peachy oranges. All right, there we go. So we will stick this on the inside of the card. Hopefully get it lined up in here. Okay, then I'm going to flip it closed, and I'm going to grab my little bone folder and give that a quick crease. And then I'm going to take my little bunny that I totally forgot about. Poor lone little bunny sitting there by himself saying, hey, wait a minute. Grab a couple of little glue dots here. Hey, Linda, thanks for joining. And We'll stick the bunny on the front. Whoop. Apparently I've got like, I don't know, hands that want to fling things everywhere today. Stick my little bunny over here. And that's it. So like I said, it's super, super easy to do the shaker cards. Just get your foam adhesive strips, cut your frame, put the foam adhesive strips and the window sheet around it, add some little sequins, and you got yourself a fun little shaker card. So this is my original one, the boring non-shakery one. And probably if I were going to do it again, I don't know, I think that's kind of an okay number of sequins. So about 4, maybe 5 pinches if you wanted to do a few more sequins in it and wanted it to be a little more snowy looking. But I think it's fun just as it is. So there you go. All right. Well, thanks so much for joining today. I appreciate you being here. I will plan to be back on my YouTube channel around 2 o'clock Eastern Time on Friday, and then back here live on Facebook around 2 o'clock Eastern Time on, or 4 o'clock Eastern Time on Tuesday. After that, I should be back to the 2 o'clocks and, you know, regular times. But anyway, so thanks for joining today. I appreciate you all being here. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Let me know if you have any questions about anything, questions about the upcoming dies, the upcoming bundles, card making day, joining, celebration, whatever. Let me know if you have questions. Again, all the details for this will be posted on my blog tomorrow. So all the cardstock cuts, everything I used, so you don't have to listen to me ramble on, and hope that I got the measurements right. So there you are. Thanks for joining. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will chat soon.